Hello, and welcome back to another chapter of It Hurts to Hope by Inquilidori on AO3. Chapter 25, Close Enough to Hurt. They know he's here somewhere. A clever disguise, a cleverer admin. They know who protects Selqua, the runaway who slipped through their fingers when they first embarked on this mission. Another failure to add onto the list. They can't afford to add any more. They grow weaker by the day. Selqua has been leaving a trail. Every time he leaves the safe haven he's somehow found, he leaves a signature behind, a faint mark of magic and otherness that only they can see. Like calls to like. Even if the trickster doesn't wish it so. Like calls to like, and the watchers will heed the summons. They don't know which server he's hidden away on, but they will find it. That much is certain. Exuma awakes to an alarm. It takes him a moment to actually realize that he's awake, and then another to fully sit up. When he does, he's not sure where he is. His sleep-heavy eyes trace the couch he's laying on, his desk on the other side of the room, his helmet laying on the coffee table. Then he remembers that his room got egged a couple days ago. They still haven't cleared the chickens out. The solution? He's been sleeping down in his office for the past few days on the spare couch. Good that he's down here, because if he hadn't been, he'd be up in his room dead asleep and probably wouldn't even have heard the alarm. The alarm. Oh my gods. He breathes and shoots off the couch so fast his legs get tangled in the blankets and he falls flat on his face with a yelp. He's not wearing his helmet. He sets the environmental controls in his base every season so he can at least breathe properly in his home. But that only means that the cold floor meets his face straight on, and for a moment all he can see is wood. It doesn't stop him from hauling back onto his feet and lunging for his desk, nearly slipping and cracking his skull open on the edge. He catches himself at the last minute and starts throwing open panels, not even bothering to sit down. In a flash, Exuma isn't seeing what's in front of him, but what he's been fearing for years. Every alarm going off, every light and whistle flashing and wailing, because every single defense that Exuma has coded and designed over the years has been activated. Every single firewall and shield and safeguard. Code is scrolling up and disappearing faster than he can read it. Lights are flashing, his server's burning. Burning! Exuma blinks, and the image is gone. He's standing in his dark office, the only sound his raspy breathing, and the beeping of a single yellow light, blinking languidly at him. They're not under attack. The sensors have been tripped, but the server is safe. They haven't found us. Running a hand through his messy hair, Exuma sits down heavily in the chair and swipes through the screens, trying to figure out what activated the alarm. The server seems fine. The firewalls are sitting dormant. It's only when he looks beyond the server that he realizes what's wrong. The watchers are in the between void, nearly invisible, except Exuma's been coding his server for years to detect watchers the minute they get anywhere near it. They haven't found it yet, but Exuma knows it's only a matter of time. It's obvious what they're doing. Searching servers for any trace of Gregan. For the escaped experiment they're so desperate to get back. Exuma has no idea how they know where to look, but Green is his player and his hermit. They'll have to take him off the admin's dead body. He grits his teeth and braces his hands against the console, summoning up whatever energy he has left. Stupid of him to get baited into the magic game, to use so much of his reserves and put on such a show. Stupid, foolish, naive. He should have known better. He should know better. Void, damn it, Exuma, you've been admin for years! His energy is the lowest it's been in a while, but it'll have to do. It will have to do. With one desperate gulp of air, Exuma braces his hands on the table and dives into the code. It's a dangerous thing to interface with any kind of code in such a direct way, but with a server as complex as Hermitcraft, it's somewhat like drowning. Code and information wraps around him, pulling him down, whirling around him, so much more overwhelming than the smokes and mirrors that he summoned earlier that night. Corellis 1, visitor status asleep. Server update, lag and spawn chunks. DocM77, player status, awake. Time set 17794. Sensors activated. Administrator action required. Unread messages. It's a constant stream of information that he can barely grasp onto. It's like being caught in a hurricane and not knowing which way to turn. But Exuma isn't admin for nothing. And however much it feels like a backhanded compliment, there's a reason the Watchers wanted him for their experiments all those years ago. Exuma's a Void Walker, and he does not submit to the call of the code. He grabs his server with both hands and pulls it back together, sifting through information and activating the defenses he's been code weaving ever since he became admin. Player monitoring turned on. Second defenses activated. Lag monitored. Message from Ethoslab. Exuma, wake up! Player monitoring status change. Corellis 1, visitor. Status awake. Message from Corellis 1. I think we have a problem. Player monitoring status change. Green, status awake. Calm override. Alarm set. Exuma Void to Mumbo Jumbo. Mumbo, get to Green and tell him not to panic. The Watchers are nearby, but they will not find us. I have everything under control, but he's going to do something stupid. Get to him right now. The night wears on, and Exuma's energy wears with it. He's already tired and drained from the duel. Even at full power, interfacing with code is a dangerous and energy-heavy job, and it's all he can do to stay concentrated and on task. Corellis shows up at some point, though Exuma only knows that because the server itself tells him. He's almost completely severed from his physical body, his mind and magic buried deep within the server's code, and he wouldn't know if someone drew a sword and put it through his chest. He does keep a metaphorical eye on Corellis' signature in the room, however. This deep in the code is less of looking at things and more of feeling them. It doesn't take much more energy to keep track of Corellis on top of everything else. In a way, some part of Exuma muses while he works. It's similar to the Watcher's ability to see everything at once. He's more server than player right now, aware of everything and not concentrating on one task, but on many. So Exuma works. He loses himself to the world and weaves the tapestry of illusions together, stitch by stitch by stitch. He buries the server deeper and deeper into the between void, veils it among the stardust and shadows. The night wears on, and Exuma watches the logs with a mounting concern. Mumbo hasn't replied to his messages, which either means he's confronting Green, or currently panicking because Exuma was too late and Green is gone, either escaped himself or taken by the Watchers. No, he's still here. I would have seen the logs. No one has joined or left since last evening. He's okay. He's okay. They're all okay. And they will stay that way. But Mumbo still isn't replying. Exuma Void to Mumbo. Please tell me Green is okay. Mumbo? Mumbo, please respond. I'm scared. Please? Mumbo doesn't respond, and Exuma drifts far below the surface of reality in an ocean of code and illusions that spin from his fingers as the steady beeping of the sensors chime in his ears. Then suddenly, right as the sun starts to peek over the horizon and night turns to dawn, it stops. Everything stops. The sensors go silent, and Exuma goes silent with them. searching for what had changed. He's so tired and off kilter that it takes him a long moment to realize that the Watchers are gone. They're gone. Exuma double, triple, quadruple checks everything to make sure the defenses are still active and ready to go at any moment. Checks the sensors one last time and looks over the firewalls for any cracks. When that's done, he does it all over again, and one more time for good measures. Then finally, slowly, he pulls himself from the cold and releases the console, tipping backwards into Corellis' arms. His head is spinning, his arms shake, his stomach is doing somersaults, but the server is safe, at least for now. Which brings two very important questions to the surface. How did the Watchers find him again? And why did they leave? Alice, let me go. Zuma slurs, trying to stand on his own feet again. Even with his sluggish mind, the urgency is still poking at him from every direction, and fear for the server and his family. Okay, I'm not done. They're gone, Shashwami. Corellis soothes, gently trying to pull Exuma back towards the couch. He weakly tries to resist, quite sure there's something else he's supposed to do, but he can't remember what that thing is. He's so tired. Green! Green! He manages to squeeze out, and slips from Corellis' grasp, stumbling for the console again, which has started pinging incessantly. Corellis makes a distressed noise, but follows along. Private messages. Mumbo jumbo. X, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I tried to stop. I don't know what to do. Exuma calls him and Mumbo picks up immediately. Exuma, I'm so sorry. It's my new comm. I haven't connected to the alarm system yet. I was asleep. I'm really sorry, X. I swear I tried. I really... Mumbo, stop talking and take a deep breath for me. Exuma interrupts, because it hurts him to hear his player in distress, but he really doesn't have time for it right now. You have to tell me if Green is okay. Is he okay? That's what I was trying to say. Mumbo sniffs, and even through the calm connection, Exuma can hear that he's been crying. Exuma, he's gone! Green wakes to eyes drilling into his soul. It's paralyzing. His eyes snap open, but he can't move for a long moment, shivering and feeling their sights brush over him, aware that he's somewhere, but not quite sure where. They're calling to him. He can hear them. Their gentle voices that somehow betray all and none of their malice. Come home, Selqua. Come home to the Watchers. And suddenly he can move again. He's bolting out of bed and scrambling for his things in a rush that can only be described as instinctual, scrabbling desperately as his hands shake and his wings flare. They're there, right here. He can hear them, and they're coming. They know where he is. They'll kill the hermits. They're gonna kill his flock. His fingers close around his comm. He flips it over and practically rips it in half with code reaving, reaching into the very center of the device, tearing out the tracker, tossing it aside. He has to go, leave, now, before the Watchers lock into his location. He doesn't know how they found him, but they have, and he needs to run, again, just like the first time. I'm putting all of you at risk by simply being here. He told Exuma, didn't he? Tried to warn him? He didn't try hard enough. I can't endanger all of you like that. But he did. He did. He won't anymore. His sweater? Where is his sweater? He can't leave without it. He was always living on borrowed time. The clock hits midnight. His breathing is loud in his ears. Too loud. Somehow clutches a small bag in his hands. Though he has no memory of packing it, it's stuffed with crushed clothes, snacks, and a small handful of physical funds that he had the foresight to extract. The door to Green's bedroom smashes open, and suddenly there's Mumbo, dressed in pajamas and barefoot, like he got dragged out of bed. He's clutching his communicator with one white-knuckled hand and has a wild, panicked look in his eyes. "Oh, you're all right," he gasps the minute his gaze lands on Grian, and his eyes soften ever so slightly. "Gee, listen, X says the watches are nearby, but you need to stay with me." Green spreads his wings as wide as they'll go, clutching his satchel to his chest. His wild eyes meet Mumbo's, and his frozen prey-like mind has only one thought rampaging through it like a ravager on the loose. Run. Mumbo's panicked cries ring out as Green snaps his wings closed and leaps into the between void, slipping out of the server without so much as a message in the chat. He's barely even in the between void for the fraction of a blink, so fast that the watchers don't even notice he's there until he isn't. He reaches out frantically, trying to grab something, anything, to get out and away, 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 away! A familiar feeling, patiently tapping talons, a warm smile. Green latches onto the feeling and yanks. He stumbles onto Ivamir in front of the avian shop. The cashier looks up from where she's locking the door and yelps. "Whoa! You weren't there before." She cranes her neck to peer down the street, then looks at Green with no little confusion. "I wasn't expecting you back so soon. Honestly, I'm afraid I just closed shop, but..." She seems to finally realize that Green is shaking violently, half awake and clutching a bag between his hands like it's his only lifeline. Her wings fluff out, and she lets out a concerned warble. "Hey, are you all right there, mate? Come here, sit down for a sec. Tell me what's wrong." A warm arm slings around Green's shoulder, along with a feathered wing, but Green resists being moved, shifting his grasp to cling to the cashier's shoulder instead. "Please, they're looking for me," he gasps. "They're trying to find me. I just got away." The cashier freezes for a long moment, sharp eyes flicking from his rumpled appearance to the bag. Green's not sure what she's thinking. Is she going to turn him over to the mods? That could be disastrous if they realize what he is. He's already bracing himself for another jump when the cashier shakes her head and smiles at him. "I've got a place where you can hunker down for a bit," she says. "From whoever is coming after you." Her eyes briefly shift to his wings, and oh, she thinks he's being chased by hunters. Well, it's close enough to the truth. He nods ever so slightly to the silent question, and her gaze darkens into something ugly. "God damn them, those..." She trails off into muttered insults as she quickly bundles Green into the side street next to the shop, then shoulders through a door and leads him up a small rickety staircase. "There is a small apartment above the shop that I get to use," the avian explains as she shows Green through the tight hallway and opens the door. "Technically it belongs to the owner, but he lets me rent it." The apartment is rather small but homely. There's a collection of mismatched rugs on the kitchen shelf, a clothes hanger by the door that is piled with jackets and sweaters, and plants that either climb up the walls or spill over the sides of the pots. It's very cozy. Green immediately takes a liking to it. He makes sure to take off his shoes by the door and edges deeper into the apartment, not wanting to touch anything, but deeply curious. A handful of framed pictures hang on the walls. He picks out the avian among a reoccurring group of people. Family, maybe? "The couch should be plenty comfy. I'm afraid I don't have a guest room or anything," the cashier hums, brushing past Green and going to root through a closet. "Help yourself to the fridge. Feel free to go out and explore. One thing I ask is that you don't go up into the loft." She stands up, armful of blankets, and points up towards a small loft that Green hadn't even noticed. He's tempted to ask why he's not supposed to go up there when he catches a glimpse of well-worn blankets peeking over the side and it hits him like a truck. Of course, I won't touch it, he promises, and she relaxes and gives him a grateful smile. He was right then. Her nest is up there. And Green knows, in some instinctual avian way, that it would be disastrous for him to go rooting in someone else's nest. Awesome. I'm afraid I can't stay right now. I'm meeting up with some friends. But you're welcome to stay as long as you like. She deposits the blankets on the couch and crosses back over to the entryway, pausing to put a taloned hand on his shoulder. Listen, I can't pretend to know what's going on, and I'm touched that you came to me, she says quietly. But you got a pretty cool crew on Hermitcraft, you know? Don't be afraid to ask them for help. Green presses his lips together but nods, and she smiles and nods as well. All right. Oh, I'm an idiot. I never introduced myself. She sticks out a hand and Green tentatively shakes it. I'm Karsha. Green. Green, Karsha echoes and smiles. I like it. All right, Green? A friend of my friends is a friend, or something like that anyways. Oh, here's my contact. I'll let you know if you make... Let me know if you make it out all right, yeah? I hate to think someone got kidnapped out of my house. Green accepts the contact, and Karsha is soon out the door. He watches after her for a long moment, then finally slumps into the floor and buries his face in his hands. Idiot. He's a goddamn idiot coming here. Coming to Ivamere? Going to the cashier? To Karsha? Now she's in danger too, and it's all because of him. If the Watchers find him... He grabs a couple of the blankets and drags them into the darkest corner of the apartment he can find, between the closet and the wall. His calm is clutched in his hands like a lifeline, and he can't help but scroll through its contacts. Xumavoid. He knows that the admin is awake, either deep in the server code to build up defenses or frantically searching for his disappeared player. His hands start to shake. Mumbo bursts into his room to tell him that Exuma had it all under control. And what did Green do? Run. Run like he'd been expecting it to happen for months and didn't trust the word of the hermits. Because you didn't. Because you don't. Should he have stayed? Would Exuma really have been able to drive the Watchers away? He doesn't know anymore. And that's what scares him. He's so deep in his spiraling that he barely even notices when it changes. Except it's impossible not to notice. Alarms start wailing in the streets, and Green recognizes the sound from their off-world briefings. Something big is trying to get onto the server, though the protection is really meant to stop server raids or hacks. Green knows exactly what it is this time. The Watchers have found him. He punches the contact on his comm without a second thought. And he looked so scared, and then bloop, he was gone. X, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to do. Mumbo, I need you to take a deep breath and calm down for me, Exuma instructs, because it hurts to hear his player in distress. But he really has bigger things to worry about. I'm gonna find him. He'll be okay. But I can't do two things at once. Can you please call Scar or Iska and tell them to come over? You can't be alone right now. Yeah, I can do that, Mumbo says, and Exuma exhales in relief. Please find him, X. That's the plan, my friend. Mumbo hangs up, and Exuma immediately turns back to the code. If he can just track Green's comm, find out where you went. The comm is still on Hermitcraft, in Green's bedroom of Mumbo's house, to be precise. Exuma blinks at the location, and then tries to call Green. I'm sorry, the automated voice drones in his ears. The player you're trying to reach has blocked all calls and messages. No! Exuma slams his hands into the console. Corellis, still standing next to him, jumps in surprise. He's taken the tracker out. I can't get a fix on his location, and he's not answering his comm. He's completely cut himself off from us. Smart. A distant part of Exuma's brain mutters. Completely untraceable, but still able to get back in contact in case he needs to. Exactly what I would have done in his position. It's not a reassuring thought, especially since if Exuma was in Green's position, he'd probably keep running. I don't know what to do, Exuma says, and it sounds almost plaintive. It's not a tone he allows himself to fall into often. He's lost, and he's terrified to admit it. He doesn't know what to do. Shashwami, maybe you should. Corellis' hesitant words are cut off by the ringing of a comm, and Exuma immediately springs back to the console. He's never been so happy to see Green's name. It takes him 3 tries with his shaking hands to pick up the call. Boy, Green, I'm so glad you're okay, he starts. He's so relieved, thanking the stars that his player is safe. He's okay. Then it hits him. So hard he loses his breath for a moment. The wavering, uncertain noise on the other end of the line, that at first seems to just be static. Green is crying. Exuma, X. Green is pleading, barely even breathing between words. A prayer and a call for help, or a last cry to simply be heard. Green, where are you? Exuma demands, already elbow deep in the code, stretching out into the between void, trying to trace the Watcher's path. Because now he knows they're tracking Green somehow. They know where he's been. I'm on Ivamir, Green whimpers, and oh, that hurts. Because Exuma can hear the terror in his hermit's voice, the panic and uncertainty, downright fear. I thought I'd be safe. I thought I was keeping you safe, Exuma. They're here. They came for me. Oh, gods, please help me. I'm getting you out, Green, I swear. Exuma promises in a rush, barely aware of what he's saying as he delves deep into the code. Ivamir is on lockdown. Even the Voidwalker wouldn't be able to get in. Not with what seems to be a raid happening. They've completely shut it down, mods monitoring every inch of the server's defenses. There's no way he can get on. But maybe he can pull someone out. They're right there. Korean sobs, and Exuma just works quicker, because it's tearing him apart, listening to him on the other side. And he's never heard anything like it before. He's never heard Green cry. Not like this. Exuma doesn't know what to do. He's never felt so much like a failure. They're right here. They're here. Green is frozen. Even if he wanted to move, he can't. He's wedged into this little dark corner of the room, comm clutched so tightly between his hands, he's afraid he might crack it. There are tears streaming down his face. His throat is clogged and his nose is running. He's hyperventilating, and his wings are spasming because they're right there. He can feel them and sense them and see them. I'm getting you out, Green, I promise you. Exuma's frantic voice assures him through the comm, but Green doesn't believe him. Green, I swear on my life, I will not let them take you. They're coming for me, Green rasps, pulling in breath after frantic breath. They're coming. They know I'm here. Just one more moment, Green, I promise. I'm getting you out, I just need to... X, I love you. He gasps, and he can hear his admin fall silent on the other end. I love you. Tell Mumbo, and Scar, and Pearl that I love them. And my hermits, tell my hermits I love them. Exuma, please tell my hermits that I love them. He can barely see through his tears. He can't breathe through his nose, and his throat is too tight. His heart is beating like a frantic bird, and he can see them coming closer, even closer. Where are you, Zelqua? Come home, Zelqua. We see you, Zelqua. And then suddenly, he's gone. He's gone and he's not. He's crumpled into a ball in a corner, and he's nothing at all, floating in space and frantically trying to push air into his lungs. For a long, terrifying moment, all of the Watchers' eyes lock on him, each and every one, and they rise up and they shout, "Run away! You can't hide, Zelqua! Come home!" There's a tug and a push, and suddenly Zelqua is gone, and Green is there. And he's falling back, back, back. He falls right into Corellis' arms, who immediately bundles him close and envelops him in magic. Magic that lets him breathe and breathe and breathe. Breathe, Green, breathe. "You're safe, G," someone whispers, and Green can't really tell who it is, but someone he trusts. So he lets himself relax and goes limp in a pair of warm arms that feel like home. And that is the end of chapter 25.